It probably, that's why I was thinking.
Ideally,
outside would be better, I think. You can actually make this shorter, bring it both in a little bit, shorter arms, so you relieve a little of that torque, right? In square, or not. It doesn't really matter, because I noticed on that video they were coming in a little bit too. It really didn't seem to matter.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to figure out that you start with twisting, and then you come up here, and there's going to be an effective amount of torque created by this lever, and now you're just transmitting that straight up and down.
Right.
Now that same amount of torque is going to have to come into some very exciting math to equal what happens at this point, coming to this point back to a center. And then what's up here, regardless of whether it overlaps it or underlaps, it couldn't underlap because that would defeat our whole purpose of being able to create a shield and everything underneath. But I'm pretty confident, and one of the fellows that, one of my friends that is, it's funny because I did this, and I was fortunate enough that my friend that's with GM happened to need to pick up a bike part, so he saw this 12 minutes after it was done.
Nice.
And he said, these have to go straight up and down. You know, those will be shorter, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he said, think of it like this. He said, your distance from center to here, down, and from here to here, those are going to be, this can change, but this distance and this distance you're going to want to get equal. And that's going to simplify so much of, he said the math is then just simplified at that point.
That's why I said
start.
These would be, you want to get them square.
Yeah, I just couldn't achieve that
Parallel,
in Legos.
right, and I understand.
Yeah.
But we could actually do that and even shorten these rods by moving these in both sides just a little bit.
Yep, because he was like,
You get the best of both worlds.
ideally my center point, my actual pivot for this arm would be about here, and that would make the distance from pivot to joint the same that it is from joint to the center of this.
Okay.
And he said, I'm not doing the math right now, I'm just telling you that's what you want to do. He said, I'm just telling you that's what you're trying to do. You know, simply put, he said, if you didn't do any of the mathematics on it and you built a prototype using all the leftover parts in the shop, that's what you want to include in your prototype. To see to have the opportunity to see, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I talked about a couple different things because I had I talked to you about cables and some other things because I had one that used the cables.
Okay.
And it was interesting. The cables were so great for noise and all these other things. He's like, that is so cool. And it moved just the same as this. And then he said, where are you going to route the cables? And I was like, okay. Because you had to get all of these cables back to so you had to build a whole apparatus to drive your cables. Whereas this just went back to, and then if we needed to, you know, for instance, like we said, we could drive these via chain to another one.
The last prototype I had offset these. That's why I had offset them so that this next unit over here,
Yeah.
we could chain across because I had
Actually,
sprockets
just
on them, you know.
Because one would have
you
to.
still.
Because for instance, this set would be
gotta-
geared and would, because this guy, and then you'd be, you know, going
You
back
still
to
got a
another
center
set.
point problem.
Center point how? Well, all I'm doing by moving
You're
this
saying-
is saying that if I had another one
you're
parked
saying
behind it,
Yeah.
then
Okay.
I could move
This chain would
in
be
to have,
above and below.
yeah, because
Yeah.
my chain for this one passes over this one to the next one, this one.
Yeah, I see.
I'm actually very happy that everyone's so fast here. Because there's myself and the other lead individual that I work with, we have literally, I've had to force feed him stuff before, no, it's so much simpler than what you're trying to do.